Now we're starting to see, you know, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of pounds being won.
It's crazy how you can think playing FIFA, playing Call of Duty, playing League of Legends can turn out to be a career for some of these guys.
When you get to the event, you can't take anyone for granted because obviously they got there for a reason.
In FIWC, UNILAD Gorilla obviously took home $200,000. I mean, that was huge, but I can only expect it to get bigger and bigger.
It's going to be huge. Next 5 years, imagine it could be as big as football one day.
The most important things, if you want to become a pro, you need to decide what you want to do. You can't be like, I think I could do it, let's do it. You need to be 100% committed to it. But at the same time, if you're going to do that, you need to be mentally strong, because if you do qualify for an event, it's not just, you're at home in your slippers playing, you're actually there in front of a crowd.
This is just like any other job. You got to do it every day. You got to wake up at a certain time. Obviously, with gaming, it's kind of more flexible. You can play whatever times you want, have an off day whenever you want, you can do whatever, but it's hard to stay at that top level because you got to be grinding the game. Otherwise, these guys that are grinding the game now, who are 15, 16, they're going to come and take your spot.
I remember when I first started, my first few events, I was crapping it. I was in the final of my first event, and I thought I was going to have a heart attack, honestly, but now it's, the more you play, the more easier it gets.
I had the opportunity whether to stay in school or to play FIFA professionally, and I took a risk and it's happily paid out, so I'm happy about that. When I was a little kid, all I wanted to be was a footballer, and I realised it wasn't going to happen, and the next best thing was gaming. And when I'm seeing these people sign for West Ham, you know, PSG, kids can actually now play for their favourite team, but in FIFA, and who wouldn't want to do that? So it's crazy how big it's come, it's crazy how big eSports has come, and it's amazing to be a part of it. Oh, I've been to Paris, I've been to Berlin, I've been to America, I've been travelling all the world, and it's crazy because I love to see the new places, I love the environment at these events, that surrounding and being with these people that's here to win, and I just love that atmosphere it brings to it. So for me, I'm 18, I get to see the world, I love it, it's great. But the main thing is you got to know what you want and just believe in yourself.
Welcome to the EA Sports FIFA 18 Ultimate Team Champions Cup in a lovely destination of Barcelona. We're in the Palau Sant Jordi, the largest indoor arena in Spain. 128 of the best players are here. 64 on PlayStation, 64 on Xbox.
Everyone's my competition, even if you don't know who they are. They're obviously somewhat of a good level, so you got to take every game as it comes. But obviously you have the top players that have played over the years, and there's always close games, interesting games. You
can get underdogs like me last year that wasn't big in the scene but came out and started smashing it. It's going to be a tough one. It's going to be good.
The difference between FUT champions this year and last year is so significant. I mean, a lot of the guys are coming back with pro club badges on their chest, you know, Man City, you name it, Wolfsburg, that kind of thing. So the status of the scene has just elevated in 1 year only, so I can only imagine where it can go as more professional clubs get into it and more money is invested into the scene. The format is basically group stage, you win 4, you go through, lose 4, you go home, and then after that, knockouts.
The new Swiss system means that you kind of, as you said there, you don't need to rush, you don't need to panic. If you lose a game, keep your head, don't let it affect your other games.
This new format is crazy. Like, if you play against someone that's 2-0, like if you're 2-0, you're playing someone else that's 2-0. If you're 0-1, you're playing someone else that's 0-1. So it's really tough. Every game means something. Everyone's going for the win. And if you get 4 losses, you're out of the tournament. So if you're on 3 losses, there's going to be a lot of pressure on you and your opponent. When I'm in the game, I know. When I'm playing those first 5 minutes, doing a simple ball roll, fake shot, I know if I'm going to be good. I know if I'm going to be bad. Every game's different, but that first game for me is the most important one. If I get off on a good start, then hopefully it should be a good day. If I get off on a bad start, it's going to be tough to get back, but we'll see.
Yeah, I won FIWC last year and all that, but it's a new game, so I need to go there, try and have fun with it, but at the same time play my best FIFA. For me, for this tournament, obviously I want to win it like everybody else going, but I need to be realistic. It's the first tournament of the year. I want to test my skill and ability against all the other top pros because it's a new game.
I'm confident, but I'm nervous like always. Every tournament I go to, I feel like I have to do well. Obviously, in my last tournament I got grouped, so I'm not happy with that. I want to redeem myself. Anything can happen in FIFA.
30 minutes on the clock, and Gorilla is in control.
When you get into trouble with Gorilla, you get into big trouble because, like I said before, he doesn't stop. If he has a 10-0 lead, he doesn't stop. He never stops attacking, and that is his big strength.
So today was a new day, started off fresh and performed well with 4-1, so I'm playing good now. Hopefully we can continue that into the knockouts, but we'll have to wait and see. So I won my first match, I can't remember the score, but I won my first match, so I went off to a good start, but then my second game against Team Latko, I got demolished 8-2. The first leg was close, it was 3-2, but then I lost the second 5-0. Yeah, Latko's been playing for a while now. I think I've played him once or twice in previous tournaments, I can't remember the results, but he's a good player. When I knew I was matching up against him, I knew it would be a hard game. Yeah, I always seem to start pretty slow heading into tournaments. Like my first few games, or first game, I was getting to terms with the game, and then, 2 or 3 games later, I start playing well. So hopefully I can continue it, like I said, but one game at a time.
Real life football and FIFA are totally different, but you're still using the same player. So Ronaldo is, people say he's the best player in the world, as is Messi. They are still the best players in the game, so you would still use them like you would see them being used by Zidane or by the Barcelona manager, things like that. One thing you could say that really ties the two together is that you see a lot of actual pro football players in real life, like David Myler, for instance, who plays for Hull City, but he uses his knowledge of real football, since he plays week in, week out in the championship and formerly in the Premier League. He uses that knowledge to map out what kind of plays he's gonna make in the game of FIFA, So that knowledge that they bring and that awareness that they have, they can translate that awareness into FIFA. So I think there's actually a lot between the two worlds.
On the other hand, Shellz, he had a very good team the whole year. So he's used to his players, which can be an advantage here in this game.
And chance for Ronaldo on the rebound, a little bit fortunate, but Shellz won't be complaining of that at all. He takes the 2-0 advantage.
Right now, Shellz is tearing him apart. Shellz has been the most dominant player in the world in FUT Champions. He's, of course, he went, I think it was 240-0 at one point, and that is absolutely mind-blowing.
Finally, man. Finally.
How many games did it take?
7? I don't know, I don't know, this whole every tournament now I go to win. It's not my first year anymore. It's no time for games. And I put so much pressure on myself to do well, and I don't want to let people down. It's not people forcing me or putting pressure on me, it's just myself. I don't like to do bad at events, and my previous tournament I just got grouped from FIWC. So being 1 win and 3 losses down, I thought it was game over. I was crying after my 3rd loss. I thought it was over. But it's just each game I got a bit better. I wasn't happy, but that last performance there, that's how I want to be playing.
A supportive team and all that, right?
Yeah, supportive team. Done one-to-one sessions with Sam up there as well.
Yeah, I know, yeah.
Yeah, I'm through to the last 32, 16. I don't know.
What was different about the last game?
I just felt like it was clicking. I don't know, in attack.
Do you ever think that maybe that's a bit of confidence as well? A bit of belief in yourself?
No.
No? Oh, fair enough. No. Good to hear something.
Never. I don't like playing a lot of games in one day. It kills me mentally. But yesterday I was playing good. Came here today, played terrible. So I don't know if I would rather want to finish my games off today. The 2 games yesterday, I felt comfortable. I wasn't good in attack, but my defense was solid. I lost against Maestro, who's a really good player, so I wasn't too angry about myself, but obviously I was disappointed because I felt like I could have done better. But today, I don't know, I came here and I just started conceding goals left, right, centre, goals that I didn't think I should be letting in. And I was just going through formation, players, just changing everything. And then as it got progressed, I guess it just started clicking. And that last game there, I don't know, everything just felt good.
And what a game we have right now, Brandon. UNILAD Gorilla versus FaceTask, 2 of the biggest FIFA players in the world right now, facing off in the round of 16.
And there's only one of these guys that can make it through to the playoffs. It's UNILAD Gorilla gets the first goal in this tie. So we're all square in this one. Goals are going in everywhere. And now this advantage is getting bigger and bigger.
Yeah, it's a 2-legged game, so Gorilla can't let this get too bad for him. He can't let it get to 6-7-2 because can't see a player of Tassa's quality letting a lead like that slip away in the second leg.
But this game has got a long road ahead of it. 5-5 the score now.
See him diving in.
Looks like Gorilla will be taking the win here as the time slowly starts to count down. But we are getting to the quarter-final stages now. Another goal for Gorilla. 19 scored in this game. Is this man starting to come alive now?
In the later stages of the competition, we often say Gorilla starts slow, and then as the weekend progresses, he picks up and then hits his best form on Championship Sunday. And that's exactly what UNILAD Gorilla has done once again in Barcelona.
Obviously, the matchup with Gorilla. That game was to qualify for an event, I believe, one of the future events. So that was the part that sucked. So if it was even the game after, I think we would have both had a little more fun playing as well. Even though the tournament's on the line, but the qualification, I think that's the part that sucks, losing.
Yeah, so when I was 2-0 up and he came back to 5-2 for the start, first half or something of the first leg, I mentally lost it. So I went back to my original formation, 4 at the back, and it seemed to work. So I think from now on I'll stick with my original formation. I'm glad I brought it back to, was it 1 goal heading into the second game, so I'm glad I've done that, but I shouldn't be doing that, especially this stage, but it is what it is, always do it the hard way. Now, I came here to get top 8, I've got it, so I had to do it the hard way as usual, but we got there in the end. Yeah, taking the headphones off, it's the opposite effect. It should theoretically help you focus, but I don't know. With the headphones off, it's like I'm not caring because it's like it's over. So I don't know if that makes me play better. I don't know. It happened yesterday when I was 7-2 down and I brought it back. So I don't know. No headset for the next game.
Something you might think about doing the next game?
Yeah. I think next game I won't have the headphones on. But if I start losing, put them on again.
The big names are dropping out of the competition thick and fast. Shellz out.
So my first game today was against a stranger who's one of the best PS4 players there is at the moment. So it was a tough matchup. I knew it was going to be tough, but I knew I was going to be playing one of the best anyways because how poor I'd done in the Swiss bracket. I don't know, both games I felt in control. I didn't feel like I was going to concede, but I wasn't creating any chances. It was a pretty even game. We both wasn't dominating each other, but silly mistakes by me, I think, that I've been doing this whole tournament. It's really annoying, it's really frustrating because I've been giving my opponent such easy goals. Like one of the goals, I pressed the offside trap and he just went through and scored. So some games I feel like my attack isn't strong enough. So I need to work on a few things. Sometimes I just give the ball away stupidly and then my opponent will just counter-attack me, so hopefully I'll just be a bit smarter when I play. The positive I'm going to take from the tournament is that I was 1-3. So from then I thought I was out of the tournament from there. So to be able to win 3 games on the trot to go to the knockouts round, I guess means that I can show that I can come back into the game and anything could happen. But I think the tournament could have been a lot better because on the first day, we played 2 games in 14 hours. So that drained me completely. I was absolutely knackered. I was frustrated, I was angry because we were just sitting there doing nothing. And so the next day came, we had to play a lot of games, and to be prepared for that is really challenging because we had to play games after game. And at the moment I was 1-1 before that day, and I thought I'll pick up on a good start because on Friday I played good, even though I lost one, but it was against Maestro, who's a very good player. But I felt good, and then the Saturday came, I just wasn't into it. I was just really frustrated, but at the end, when I started to warm up a bit, I got a lot better. So I don't know, the tournament could have been better. This new format's really stressful. It's really stressful. You could have the perfect start, which is 3-0. Lose one, you're playing someone else that's 3-1. That doesn't mean they're ready to play. They're gaming. They can beat you easily, so you can slip at any given time. So, I mean, it's kind of something you really can't bounce back to, but it's made me mentally stronger. This format's really stressful and it's mentally challenging because when I was losing, I felt I had no confidence in my ability. But when I started winning, everything started to click. So hopefully in the next one, I'll just be prepared.
Courage pays off, not being afraid of losing, keeping to attack, and that's why we're seeing Gorilla winning so many tournaments, because he never stops.
So Nicholas coming in with a narrow win, now up against the mighty Gorilla. What are you trying to put Gorilla under the cosh? There's a chance here. Ronaldo, he surely scores, and he does. He was given an absolute age.
And here Rasek is simply just fooling Gorilla.
Good interchange this from Gorilla, and it's picture perfect for the equaliser. Patience and possession pays off. Gorilla falls behind late in the first leg, 3-2. And it will be penalties to decide the finalists on Xbox. If this goes in, it's over. Can he seal the deal? He can! Nicholas Rasek has done it. He's beaten the FIWC world champion.
Yeah, it's one of those. I can't really do anything different. Penalties is penalties. It's 50-50 at the end of the day. But I had a few chances beforehand in extra time that I regret not taking. But you know, I got top 4 on Xbox. I wanted top 8, so I've done one better than what I wanted to. First event of the year, so you know, we're going from here. He likes to keep the ball. The first game I was struggling a little bit, and then I decided second game to put the pressure on him, and it worked. It worked against TAS, so I should have maybe done it a little bit earlier. But got myself back into the game, an 88th minute equaliser, I believe, and then went into extra time, conceded, scored again, and then yeah, lost. But he likes to keep the ball, that's for sure. Well, I mean, I'm always a slow starter in events. Paris last year got grouped, and you know, I went and won FIWC, so I'm not worried. I'm impressed with how I played from, you know, obviously losing 8-2 in the groups, bouncing back from that. So I played some really good FIFA. Hopefully I can continue that in future events. But first event of the year, so I'm happy with how I placed. This event's put everything in perspective. Like, a lot of online stuff is not that relevant as long as we qualify, because the game is different. You know, just got to adapt to the game on the day, but as long as I qualify, which I should do, then we'll have to see what happens in the next event. One thing I've learned, I would say keep my composure, but I didn't do that, but that wasn't my issue after all. I don't know, just know how I played, and then in future events trying to replicate it and improve on it. But apart from that, I had an aim for the event, top 8, I achieved it, I've done one better. You know, if it was FIWC, it was like a big event, then yeah, I would be, but like, I can't be angry. I'm disappointed. I lost on penalties. I'd rather lose in normal time, but I'm not down. I don't know, it is what it is, nothing I can do about it. Like, it's the first event, so I'm being put in perspective of last year, got groups, so qualified for playoffs, that was the main thing.
In the past year, with esports growing and like FUT Champion Series being televised, a lot of kids are watching at home and seeing their heroes. They're seeing Gorilla and they're like, oh, I can do this too, you know? I can be just like Gorilla. So it gives them more like incentive to want to come do this themselves. So, I mean, there's some guys who are like, a few guys are 16 years old and they're like doing an amazing job so far.
Who am I back in to win the final? Depends who wins on PlayStation. I'll probably go with Tex. It's all this way, no one expected it to. So yeah, Tex will probably win. I was in that position, I wasn't 16, but I was 18. I mean, I don't know, it looks like he's not playing with any nerves whatsoever. I was shitting myself, but just keep doing what he's got to do, simple as that. You know, if he does, he's got to the final, even if he doesn't win, he's still done really well, obviously, so, but if he wins it, then who knows.
It's fantastic, and this game is over. Just playing out the result here.
Oh wow, oh wow, and there you have it. There's your grand final winner, DH Tex, from zero to hero, 16 years of age, from the UK.
It's mad how you can go from literally playing FIFA in your living room to earning thousands and thousands of pounds playing in arenas like this and stuff like that. It's crazy. I mean, in terms of FIFA growing in the next 5 years, it's only going to get bigger. I mean, the game gets better and better as the year goes on. Obviously, it's not going to please everyone, but I definitely feel like it's getting a lot better. Definitely, it's still in the early stages. From this time last year, it's grown in so much size.
You see new guys coming all the time. I think you're always going to get this as the leaderboards are open to qualify through just playing FUT Champions at your home. So anybody can be a star eventually.
We've got DH Tex coming through, like he's a nobody, well not nobody, no one really knows him. So it's definitely an exciting time. In the competitive scene, it's going to be huge. Next 5 years, imagine the whole arena selling out is going to be crazy. It could be as big as football one day.